Growing up with three brothers, we were always very close. I think a career in law enforcement hadn't really occurred to me until around 2009, when my older brother John joined the Maryland State Police. Graham was the 2019 Barrack Trooper of the Year, so it's very, very proud of him. Sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, driving on the wrong road. I just finished working crew here at Trooper 4. I had just gotten home and my cell phone rings.
I didn't even realize it was a state police vehicle. The whole front corner was just literally crushed in.
For Commodore 911, need police, fire, ambulance.
It appeared as though the civilian crossed over the line and had a front-end collision with the troopers.
He said, hey, Route 50 at St. Luke's Road. Graham's been in an accident, get there.
All right, so this is the intersection where it happened. Firefighter White was in the back seat trying to maintain C-spine on the driver, Trooper Graham, and the female trooper was in the passenger seat. She was trapped too, but not as bad. She was conscious and she was trying to calm the driver.
He never opened his eyes, but when he would respond with anything, it was with these loud, growls of pain. And it was then that I knew that he had to have a significant head injury.
The golden hour was ticking in my head. I needed to get him airlifted up to shock trauma ASAP.
I don't remember a thing. So that slate was wiped clean when my head hit the A-pillar between the driver's window and the windshield.
The driver of the other vehicle was pronounced dead at Title Health.
Good evening, Trooper 4, advance about 7-8 minute ETA. Priority, one category of 20-year-old male. Hey, Trooper, any copy?
I didn't think he'd even make it to the hospital.
We did everything we could to keep him stable, keep all his vital signs stable, and deliver him to Dr. Scalea.
He came in with a very high energy mechanism. He was neurologically impaired. He was really obviously quite sick.
From an orthopedic standpoint, essentially an isolated femoral shaft fracture, which was kind of a proximal fracture just below the hip joint. He had multi-ligamentous knee injury, and he also had an upper extremity injury that one of my partners took care of, which was a fracture of the olecranon at the elbow.
And his head CT at the time had these speckled patterns of blood throughout it. Something that's consistent with what's called diffuse axonal injury. It's one of the more common brain injuries, but it's also one of the more difficult ones to treat and prognosticate.
Brain injury it's in some ways the injury we know the least about. There's just not a lot to do other than to take care of the rest of them and be sure that he doesn't have too much pressure in his brain.
Things like closed head injuries and lung injuries, it complicates our care of the orthopedic injuries, particularly femur fractures.
He got his fractures fixed early. We know that gives him the best chance of a good long-term outcome, and so we push the envelope and get it done.
Graham was admitted to the neurotrauma critical care unit from the TRU. He was intubated, had the breathing tube in. We had issues trying to get him to wake up more and kind of be more interactive.
Just don't know if the Graham that I knew, the Graham that we knew, would survive.
As you can imagine, at times it's tremendously, can be tremendously sad. And I think if you lose that connection to patients and families, you've been doing it too long.
There were no
visitors, but throughout his entire stay at Shock Trauma, the team was tremendous.
We did get a Zoom video on. It was super helpful for his family to be able to see how well he was doing. And even though they couldn't come into the hospital, they knew which room he was in. They were all lined up out in the street, just kind of to be as close to him as they possibly could.
Normally patients will have a long period of rehabilitation. He definitely seemed to have something special about him. I think it was just his positive attitude that really seemed to set him apart from other patients that have been through similar injuries.
It's taken me a long time to figure this out, but it's very clear that we saved their lives, but the rehab hospitals make them better. So our job is to get them out to rehab just as quickly as we possibly can.
Uncle Graham, Uncle Graham, Uncle Graham. Good to see you, bud.
I don't have any memories in shock trauma. My first memory is about a week afterwards at University of Maryland Rehabilitation Orthopaedic Institute. I looked into the mirror and thought, I grew a beard.
You could just see this look in his eyes, okay, I'm gonna get better. I know that I have work to do, but I know that I haven't lost all skill and function. And he did amazing while he was with us.
One of the things that gets me out of bed and coming to work every day here for the last 17 years now is the opportunity to take care of people like Mr. King, see them get better, and I'm really looking forward to the day when I can tell him, you know what, you're ready to get back to work, get back on the job full duty, and get back to being out there protecting us on the streets.
Now I'm at physical therapy 2 days a week, and I work out every day. This is from Dr. Hen. Dr. Shadini fixed my femur, and it was Dr. Eggleseder who operated on my elbow. How do you thank the people who, essentially the people who save your life and preserve your quality of life? All I can say is thank you.